like I said, the last big event that happened for one of our teams was the draft lottery. Now, typically the draft lottery is not a good thing to be a part of, but we've been a part of it so much. It's like a yearly tradition here,
Oh
so
yeah.
so why not, dive into it? I know we did a live reaction to it and we talked about like the draft prospects last week on last week's episode. So this week we're going to talk about the prospects on the draft pick and how we could accumulate more or what we should do with that draft pick. So we're going to start off with, what do you think we should do with the number 5 pick? Do you think we should trade it? You think we should keep it? Do you think we should accumulate more? What are your thoughts?
Um, in the NBA, talent is everything. So no, I'm keeping 5 because this draft is, it's at least 10 players deep. You got to figure, right? Like,
Yeah.
probably get first 10 picks. You're going to get some high productivity. Um, I don't, like we talked about last week. I don't think there's a cavernous drop between 3 and 4, or 4 and
No.
5, or whatever. So no, I'm
Now
keeping
5 and 6, I think that's a pretty big drop from like 5 and 6 after Murray and Ivy. I think it dips out after that.
right, but thankfully we're 5 as Pistons people. So
Yeah,
I think they keep 5.
because we know how Troy Weaver is. We know Troy Weaver is aggressive, and if he wants a guy, he's gonna get that guy. He's shown that in OKC. You've shown that here. Trading up for Sadiq and Isaiah Stewart in 2020. So there is the possibility that he could trade up. Now, who he would trade up to get, I don't know, because I've heard reports that the Magic, unbeknownst to us, in our thinking, they're leaning towards taking Chet. So I don't know if he's talking about trading up to number 1 with the Magic to get Chet. I don't know if he's talking about going to number 3, because I feel like Jabari Smith, if he doesn't go number 1, he's dropping to number 3. So maybe Houston, maybe they're like, well, we don't want Jabari. We may want another guard to go with Jalen Green. We don't need a forward. So maybe Troy is aggressive enough to trade up with them, to go get Jabari Smith, because a player of Jabari Smith's caliber in his position is someone who fits Detroit. Like, it fits what we need. So I think it's possible, because like I said, we know Troy Weaver's MO, and like I said, we trust in Troy. So I think it's possible that he could trade up. And we've got some pieces. We could toss a couple guys like Hami in there, toss a couple guys like Frank Jackson, So
Now that's my question: is Jabari Smith that good? Where I'm gonna give up player capital for a future trade and my number 5 pick? Is he really that good? Because, like I said, the number 5 pick isn't that much of a drop off to me. So I don't know if I want to give up that much that soon. We're still, rebuilding. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're not at where we want to be. We're not how we were. I mean, even though this wasn't a great, stacked team, we're not even where we were 3 years ago or 6 years ago. Our last 2 playoff appearances, those are better teams. Okay, we're constructed better now, but the talent level was better back then. You know what I'm saying?
It was older. It was more NBA ready. But if you're trying to build something young, you gotta stick to the plan when it's time. That's my only thing. Like, so depending on what it costs to jump to a number 3 spot, and that's really, again, is that really, or whatever spot it'll take you to get Jabari. I guess that would be number 1. I don't know if I want to give up that much, man, because Orlando, they can do a lot with that. That's more depth and still get good talent at the end of the day. So I don't know.
That would be very fruitful for them to pick up that phone, like, hey Troy, if you're trying to make a deal, we're here. That would benefit them a lot.
Now see, here's the thing: if anybody jump, because I think those first 3 teams aren't going to move. So I think the person that you could expect to be trading this spot is Sacramento at 4. Apparently, they're interviewing like every kid in the draft currently. So I think they're already anticipating dropping back, trading back. It'd be a good spot for them, because I don't know what team would do it, but I think a team will jump for Keegan Murray and do that. I think so.
Yeah, he is a win now player. He fits a team who needs a guy to come in and give him 15, 6 or 7. He might be out of the top 5 players. He would be the most like ready to come in and produce. I think that that title is between him and Paolo. But if I had to pick one of those, I would say definitely, Murray. To come in, just give you buckets, boards.
Yeah, and that's what they say the knock is on him. That's kind of one of the reasons I don't really want the Pistons to touch him personally. So I kind of am hoping Keegan Murray's removed from the discussion, and we can have the real debate, which I think is the only debate that the Pistons should be having at 5 is Sharp versus Ivy. So me personally, you stay there. Now, if you can double up and turn Jeremy Grant and Frank Jackson into the number 7 pick, because we're the long-standing rumors that Portland's not going to stand there and take that pick. If you're able to do that and help upgrade Portland or a New Orleans at 8, those would be 2 really good, trading partners, I feel like.
Yeah, so with Portland, like you said, we know Dame, he wants to win now. He wants a chip. He wants playoff success as well. And he wants another piece, to go with. Well, actually, they have nothing besides Dame, I mean, Anthony Simons is there, but is he really going to be the next CJ McCollum? Yeah, Simons is nice, but is he going to be that guy who Dame can depend on like he depended on CJ? I don't think so. So,
not yet. No, it's gonna. If he is, it'll be in Dame's twilight.
Yeah, yeah, because he's still reaching, like he's still scratching the surface of his potential, and he's still ascending up right now. But yeah, I don't think Dame wants to sit down to be a part of another rebuild for 3-4 plus years. So, yeah, Portland is an option. But I read something earlier talking about the Pistons in New Orleans. Saw a trade, and I believe it said we gave up Jeremy Grant for number 8 and Jackson Hayes. Now, I wouldn't be too upset with that trade because Jackson Hayes is, a guy we can bring off the bench, as a big man, because we need big men. We need as many big men as we, especially switchable big men. You know what I mean? Like, as we've seen in the playoffs, guys like Robert Williams is a personal favorite of mine. Even guys like Brandon Clark, Bam Adebayo, these 6'8", 6'9" guys who are able to switch and play every position. Well, on defense, play every position, guard every position, get boards, get you a couple blocks. Yeah, we need a guy like that. I feel like we kind of have one in Isaiah Stewart, but he's only 6'8", and he can only do so much.
Right, buddy. But I think you can stack that, right? So there's my only thing, and I really like that deal. First of all, Jackson Hayes is a dope player. I think he reminds me of his name is immediately escaped my brain the moment I start thinking about him. Jared Allen. Yeah, Jared Allen in Brooklyn when he first hit the scene. A bouncy dude. His game wasn't all that developed, but he was just everywhere, and you can see he did that. Personally, I wouldn't get rid of Jackson Hayes right now. I guess they don't want to pay him, and I understand it. He's a good tradable chip. But if you put B.I., Jeremy Grant, Zion,
and CJ,
yeah, that's a potent.
Along with Jonas.
That's a potent offense. So, that's
the semifinals team right there.
And I like Willie Green to think that he can figure that out how to get the best out that team. Being a Detroit product, you know what I'm saying? So I think, because Jackson Hayes would fit perfectly in his rotation, and it will be a rotation. The question is, if you pull that off, do you get another Jeremy Grant type? Because I do think Jeremy Grant has a nice role on the Pistons that will be missed. And the only reason I would draft Keegan Murray is so I can get rid of Jeremy Grant, because I feel like they're kind of similar. You know what I'm saying? But if you get rid of Jay Grant, you still got to fill that role eventually.
So, best case scenario for the Pistons would be, say we do trade for, just say we trade for 7 or 8, right? Top goes Chet, Paolo, Jabari, top 3, right? Sacramento at 4, wild card. Say they take a guy like AJ Griffin, right? So the top 4 picks are top 4 picks are gone. Now you got us at 5. Who's available? Sharp, Ivy, and Murray, right? So say we get 7. Okay, so at 5, let's just say we take Ivy, okay? Indiana's there at 6. Say they take Sharp. Who's at 7 now? Keegan Murray. So if you trade away Jeremy Grant, basically, I feel like the best case scenario would be to draft Keegan Murray in one of those 2 trading spots, because he basically is going to fill the role of Jeremy Grant.
But again, I don't know if he get past 4. I don't know if he gets past 5. I think the Pistons really like this guy, even though the Pistons, I feel like, need a dynamic wing, another dynamic. a game changing wing. You know,
I mean, he kind of does fit the mold of wing. You know, he's a switchable 3-4 guy. You know,
he is, and I like that he's older. He's more of a vet, closer to a vet. You know, a good leader. But my only thing was, and I don't watching him play. He's a bucket, but I don't.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
my team
you know,
13,
but man, we need that. We need campaign, bro. I'm sorry, that we need that 2 guard because everybody's slow and smooth on the Pistons. That's why I like Jeremy Grant because he can attack the rack, all that type of stuff. But if I need a slasher, and I don't know if Keegan Murray's that guy like that. Because when I look at that lineup, all of a sudden, I like Cade. I don't love him as a slasher. I like him as a playmaker and a guy that can run the offense. But if you pair him next to an Ivy or a guy that can go jump up and get it, you know, at a higher clip and a better player than a guy like Hamid, then that makes a lot of sense, you know. So I don't even know if the Pistons would go Keegan Murray, man, because you're going to slow the team down, you know. And I don't know if you want to do that with the return of the fast break in the NBA.
I think they like him though. Like I think they're kind of enamored with him because I've heard reports that you've seen him. I think they really like him, and if he's there at 5, he's a strong possibility. I'm not saying it's set in stone, but it's a strong possibility.
Yeah. Yeah. If that happens, I don't know. You might. I don't know. I'm. Don't get me wrong. The team will still be good, but I just don't know if they're gonna be able to grow into that next level. You know what I mean? The Pistons still need that one dog. I as much as that's why I like. You know, we call him Cade Icewood. He's smooth. You know, his game is just. He's a perfect centerpiece, but he need Ferraris next to him. He need a big truck. You know, he's like the leader of the Transformers, bro. He need more. He need diversity around him, and I don't know if Keegan Murray gives you enough diversity. If he can give me what Jay Grant gave me, then now we talk. But I'm not convinced he could do that.
Okay, I think he can do that, and also like he gives you a little bit of shot creation in the form of passing, not so much in the form of dribbling and slashing like Grant was able to give us. But I think he could like potentially fill that role if we were able to leave the draft with Sharp or Ivy and Keegan Murray. I think Pistons would win the draft, hands down by far.
Yeah, and Trey we trust, right?
Yeah, but go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, my bad.
A team we're not even talking about is the Minnesota Timberwolves and how they need another piece to go with and Cat because they're not too thrilled with D'Lo, which we see why. D'Lo's a great regular season player, but in the playoffs, he's wet the bed a couple of times, especially in this series against Memphis and Ja. So they're not thrilled with him. They need another piece though. So
I just think that he doesn't mesh on the talent on that team. But I like D'Lo as a player still. I don't think he could be the number one guy on a title team. No, I think that. That's
no. He's a number 3 or number 4. He's kind of in the same build as Jeremy Grant, honestly. You know, like a 3-4 guy on a championship team where if top 2 guys are struggling, him and the other guy can step up and give you 20. You feel me?
Yeah, 20 to 30, attacking the bucket, just doing all kinds of stuff. So you
guy that you can't leave open too much.
So if Minnesota, they're trying to, because I don't know where they draft. They're obviously out of the lotto, right?
I believe they're around they got to be like 17, 18, somewhere around there. If they even have their first round pick, which I think they do. But if they are, I think they're like 17, 18, somewhere around there. So say we do trade Jeremy Grant to Minnesota, right? Mm-hmm. But instead of draft capital from the other teams like Portland and New Orleans and New York, Minnesota gives us actual player capital. And 2 personal guys that I like who I would feel fit the rotation on the Pistons are Malik Beasley, 3-point marksman, and a decent slasher, and Jared Vanderbilt, who fits the mold of that guy we were talking about, switchable 1-5 defender who can snatch a block, grab boards, all that type of stuff. I personally really like Jared Vanderbilt. He's one of those guys. I feel like Kentucky always has a guy who was really highly regarded coming out of high school, didn't really do nothing in college, but then once they get to the league, you're like, oh, we see the talent was there. What happened at Kentucky? Same thing with Hamidou Diallo, you know?
I mean, hell, one of the best ever to do it right now. Devin Booker, he didn't get a lot of run.
Jamal Murray.
Sorry, Kentucky. Yeah. Ja Murray is one of the perfect examples. You're right on that one.
And then Even a guy like Frank Jackson, even though he didn't go to Kentucky, he went to Duke. Frank Jackson is in the same mode because Frank Jackson's a 5-star guy coming out of high school. Didn't do nothing at Duke, but you see he's turned out to be solid right now. You know,
he's an NBA player. I think he's a good trade chip because I think you can pair a Frank Jackson and a 2nd-round pick and jump back up into the late 20s and get you like a developmental guy or something. You know?
Yeah, I would be fine if we let go of Frank Jackson. Actually, I think that is one thing we should do this offseason.
There's kind of no room for him, unfortunately.
Yeah,
and Corey Joseph isn't going anywhere. So, Kojo, a real one.
Pray for Kojo, man. We're going to talk about Kojo in one of these upcoming episodes. We'll get to our thoughts about it.
Hey, man, the internet's better leave Kojo alone, man. He'll get him that work too.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. Kojo would give me buckets. He would give me 20 and 30. Trust me, you know. But
no, I'm
Kojo
talking.
can be upgraded.
He can be upgraded. That's the phrase we stick to. Yeah, no disrespect, but yeah, he could be upgraded. It's like where do you fit on a title team? Speaking of title teams, let me ask you a quick opinion on where you think how does this end up this season?
Talking about the playoffs?
Yeah.
At heart, I'm always a Golden State guy, because Klay Thompson for a long stretch of time was my favorite player in the league. So I'm always going to be a Golden State guy. And also, like, who doesn't love Steph, I feel like if Golden State is doing good, the NBA is doing good, Like, I feel like everybody's happy when Golden State is doing well. And they just put Luka down 3-0. I don't think Luka has it in him to go four straight. He might give you 2 at the most.
No.
I love Luka.
No.
But 4 straight against the Dubs, including 3 games in Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
No, 2 games. 2 games in Golden State.
I'm with you personally. I'm a East Coast Warrior fan over here. But no, there's no but. Yeah, they're probably my title favorite. I called it early Boston to the finals, and I still believe in that. But they probably
I said Boston Golden State, which should have been in 2018. I said it was going to happen in the beginning of this year.
You probably get that one. And to be honest, it's more of a toss-up than I want to say, but I think the vets just put it out in Golden State. Now, here's my thing, man. We talking about trade value and things like that. You still think Wiseman has any value? Do you think Golden State is like, oh man, if a move comes up, we can get rid of this kid, or is this interest dead in him now?
Yeah, so I feel like Wiseman still has value because, like I said, the dude was the number 1 player coming out of high school. Went to go play kind of the same thing we were just talking about like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah,
crazy talented coming out of high school. Went to college, played how many, like 3-4 games for Penny Hardaway. Didn't really do nothing. Said, okay, I'm going to get myself prepared for the draft process. He goes through, blows everybody away, and they're like, wow, this guy is talented. He's that. Goes number 2 to a winning franchise who's known to develop players.
Yeah.
All types of players, bigs, guards, wings. We see the team they have now. And all those guys except Wiggins are homegrown. And even Wiggins was grown there. He's only been there 1 year. But Wiggins turned out to be an all-star. Why? Because he's in Golden State and he's surrounded by talent and the development staff they have. Yeah, so Wiseman is still talented. Now, the thing that scares me about him is obviously the injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Knee injuries and foot injuries for big guys and back injuries are not good at all. Not good at all. That really, really scares me about him.
Now, see, that reminds you're right, because the killer part about the Golden State franchise is that if they wind up whiffing on Wiseman, you still got Moses Moody and Kuminga sitting there that are in the wings developing, right?
Just strengthening their game, because the same thing happened with Jordan Poole.
Yeah, same thing. The killer part to me is, remember last year the Warriors had those 2 early picks, and people are like, oh, they need to trade both picks and go get a vet. Why?
Trade for Pascal Siakam. I was like, excuse me?
No, right? We don't need to do that, because if you get the right guys, think about this, man. If Golden State wins this year, and not to get too far off the Pistons talk, but Golden State wins this year, you still got you got the Asian vets. You'll get Klay can walk off to the sunset. Somebody takes his spot naturally. You probably got a good 3 more years out of Steph. You probably get Draymond 1 more. And then you still got the rise of the young boys. The question is, do you keep Poole? I would. I'm throwing bread at him. We're gonna try to run it right back. And we still got the young guys developing while we're champions and hopefully the cherry on top, Wiseman coming through as a number 2 overall pick. That's a dangerous. This is why I don't like when LeBron comes through and blows away all the young talent for a bubble chip, and now the Lakers are just lost. You know what I'm saying? This is how
they're in no man's.
Yeah,
no man's. Like they have no direction, no anything, no money, nothing.
Right.
They're struggling right now.
So that point you made earlier, no, I wouldn't get jump 5 because I lose out on more assets, and Golden State's the reasons why. Because if you do it right, you can sustain 10 years of dominance. So.
Yeah, I mean, it helps that you have a generational talent on your team. It helps that you have one of the best glue guys in NBA history, and it also helps that you have, maybe the best scorer, which he's no longer there, Kevin Durant. But that does help. And how am I forgetting about my guy who was the second best shooter ever in Klay Thompson? That does help. But like I said, if it all goes right and everything's clicking like that, you have sustained dominance for the next decade plus. And then you can be able to build off that because everybody's going to be like, oh, well, they've got a good franchise. They're a winning franchise now. Who doesn't want to come here? Because if you look at it, Golden State was not the best franchise, The We Believe guys and stuff, and TMT was all good, but
it takes the guy.
It takes the guy.
You got to find the guy first. Now,
and the guy that they got, they took a swing on. Steph was not supposed to be how he is now. Steph Curry was the scrawny 6'1", 6'2" guard who could shoot the blood out the ball. He could fill the nets up, but he was not supposed to be what he is now. Nobody saw this coming. Nobody.
Not this, no, because he became a first ballot unanimous MVP Hall of Fame. My only thing is, I think we all saw that he was better than Johnny Flynn and Ricky Rubio, but hey, hindsight is 2020.
Hey man, Ricky Rubio was a solid pro and is still a solid pro to this day.
So you were the guy that takes Ricky Rubio over. Okay, so I know what I'm dealing with now, Big Ben. So all right. Draft capital you covet. All right. Yeah, this is why I think Shaedon Sharpe, the ultimate secret weapon in this draft, I might just have to take. I gotta shoot my shot, man. His intangibles, what I've read, the size, the height, the combination, the way he plays, the ability to cut play off the ball, that's literally everything the Pistons need. And he's only 20. You got to do it. You got to do it. And just like you mentioned, all these KU guys or KY guys, man, you might not even see them, and they come out a beast. Like, who was that kid? I never saw him play one game. Beast.
Yeah. They'll play 10 games for Calipari, and they'll be like, yeah, you're good. Just go sit down for a minute. And they'll go second round undrafted in the draft, and then they come out 3-4 years later, signing a $20 million extension. It's like, where was this in college? Man. Like, why didn't we sign him? Why didn't we take him?
And I don't want to say that because I think Shaedon Sharpe's that kid. Honestly, I think him and Ivy are that kid that you're gonna say, why the hell why didn't we take him? But so that's where I'm kind of at. But we'll see as we get closer to the draft. You know what I mean? Things come out. I'm pretty sure the Pistons are gonna have them in all individually in for workouts and interviews and that type of stuff. So we'll definitely hear more. But I think at least we know. I think the 4 main guys are set for the Pistons who they want to get.
Yeah, I agree. And you probably throw another guy in there. I feel like the top 5 players are solidified, and I think they would like to have all 5 of those guys. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much safe. Yep. Okay, quick thoughts on free agencies before we get out of here. What do you think? What would be your approach? Do you blow it all this year? Do you spend all the money that we have stacked up right now? Do you go get a guy like Aiden? Do you go get a guy like Mo Bamba? Or do you save it for next year? Even a guy like Levine? Or do you save it next year for the better free agency crop?
Now, see, I was very aware of the Ben Gordon, Charlie Villanueva free agency summer.
I remember that as well. I remember that.
The last thing you want to do is burn your money on some BS. It's like going to the store, they got all the candy, but you pick up some Chico sticks. Like, you know what, I'm about to get them. Nobody eats Chico sticks. If you do, shout out to you. You're a weirdo. But nobody eats Chico sticks. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't want another Chico stick summer around here. And so my approach would be, how much does Aiden want? I'm not maxing him out, man. I'm not giving him no super max. I'm not giving him Russ money. I'm not giving him John Wall. No. the NBA 5 is a position that is becoming more and more flexible, and I don't need a traditional big. So he doesn't do half the stuff I need a new NBA 5 to do. So no, I'm not maxing him out. With that being said, I could go get me a functional big, maybe even Mo Bamba, because at that point, if the plan works out and I get an extra draft capital, then I can add more to my front court depth, because that way it wouldn't be on any one player in my front court. You have all types of guys you can throw at people.
Mo Bamba at $12 million a year for me is perfectly fine for me, because he showed this year he's developing a 3-point shot, and if he's got a strap in his bag, that only adds to the defensive value he has. If he can stay healthy and get a little bit stronger while keep adding that 3-point shot that he has, that he's accumulated this year, Mo Bamba at $12 million could be a steal to go along with Cade. So now Cade has another pick and roll threat, another lob threat, who we seen he was really good with one in Marvin Bagley. We're not even talking about Bagley. We able to bring him back. That just adds like to the big stable that we had. So
yeah, I got to keep Bagley for sure. As a free agent, yeah, he's my first priority as a Pistons, honestly.
Yeah, $8 to $10 million a year for Bagley is chef's kisses. It's amazing for me.
When you say Mo Bamba, though, I don't know if I would give him more than 3 years. So I'm not going to take long if I do that. Let me and I will say this: I'm not going to go reach crazy heavy in the draft for any one position. I would just go for a big man and maybe a vet, like another Kojo type of vet, somebody to take. What's his name? We were just in this hypothetical. We traded him off, Frank Jackson.
Frank.
I would get like a good solid vet to take his spot. But apparently, well, there's the thing too. I mean, if you go 5, it's so many, everything's up to draft night. But
everything.
So if the Pistons do what I think they're gonna do and stay with a slash and 2 or whatever, then they probably try to sign a big. So the cat out of New York, I wouldn't mind. Mitchell Robinson, I don't know if they're gonna. I'd pay him a little more extra money.
I heard he was getting max money. I don't think he's gonna get max money, but I heard there were rumors that he's getting max money. I wouldn't touch him with max money. I'm not comfortable with Aiden getting max money. I would give it to him, but I wouldn't be comfortable giving it to him. But Robinson getting max money, nah, count me out of that one.
Only way I think Aiden could work is if he comes here and he's like, yo, let me show y'all what I really can do. And he
show y'all what y'all missing out on.
Yeah, and he starts crossing guys up from the 3-point line, two steps to the rim, banging out. Nah, I don't see any of that happening, but I'm just saying. If he can get a 3-ball in there, I don't need it. I just need him to hit one a game. No, one every other game. Hell, not even. It all depends on what you're asking him to do. But if I don't have to pay him max money and give him max years, I could see Aiden. But I don't know, man. The money part scares me.
4 for 100 or 4 for 120 for, well, I don't even know about 120, but 4 for 100 for Aiden. I'm comfortable with that, because that's $25 million a year. But I would be slightly more on board with that than max money.
That's what I'm saying. Then you got to feed your own puppies too now. Those the Sadiq Bays, who's looking like he's going to some get money here. Yeah, so to be honest, the Pistons can't go super wild this year. Don't get me wrong, they got money to spend, but I just don't think they need to do it. Oh man, I see Hami's a club option this year. I just peeped that. You think they keep him?
Yeah, because if it's okay, so say the starting lineup. Everything is hypothetical right now, but the starting lineup that we want is K, one of the 2 guards from the draft. Let's just say we keep Grant, so that would be K, one of the 2 guards, Sadiq. Showed out last year. That guy likes too. I didn't cut him KO, really winning. So yeah, I think it's probably because who are you gonna get to fill that role? As a slash shooter, Tommy, what he does best is splash.
Right.
Highlight dunks, like he put back, grab you some boards, and he plays with decent defense too. You're always gonna need defense. So Yeah.
There's my thing when it comes to Hami. I mean, again, if the Pistons keep all their players, and I really like Hami, Livers, and Killian all together, to be honest. If they keep these guys coming off the bench, you can win games more than you lose, I feel like, because a kid like Livers just knows how to play. I think Hami is constantly developing. And I don't care what you say, Killian Hayes is a kid you just do not want to give up on right now, or you're going to regret everything. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like he's the next D'Angelo Russell.
I don't know. I like his point guard skills too much to compare him to D'Lo. But that's a whole nother subject, right? All I'm saying is this: if you're keeping Hami in that young bench together, and you got Marvin Bagley with it, man, that's a potent bench, man. They're gonna run, and you got Killian who likes to run, Hami who likes to bang when he's running. Pause. And Livers in the corner doing what he does. You can still run the high pick and roll action with Bagley, and this is your second option, second team we talking about. Like, I need just let it all happen, man. I understand NBA teams want to develop and get younger, but that's a Sacramento Kings type of mentality. So I want
just keep reshuffling pieces, just sending them out every year, just to get a new guy who's not even going to be as good or better.
A younger guy that's just there. Now, I'm all for the best player available. They still got to work. It still got to fit though. So, that's just that whole Sacramento Kings mentality. Like I said, this is why they're bottom 3 in the draft every year. They just get talent, and just try to square peg round holes. They don't let guys develop right or nothing. And the Pistons seem to be on the path where they're letting that happen. And I just want them to keep letting it happen. So, we don't forget, man, the Pistons were injured a lot of games last year. A lot of guys missed time at various times. They never had a whole 12-man roster completely healthy to play all game. So we really never got a look at what this team could do on a consistent basis. 30 games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kelly O was out 1 week. Grant's out another week.
Kill's out for another month.
Cade's out. Like, hey, and in a brief moment we saw Cade, Sadiq, and Grant playing together. They look really good out of nowhere. I was like, okay, is that something you want to build on? I don't know. I'm just saying you could, but that all depends. What's the edict this year? Are we trying to compete? Or are we still trying to, get younger, quote unquote?
Yeah, accumulate more draft capital / talent.
Yeah,
save our money.
At some point, you got to play the game, man. At some point, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So all exciting stuff. Hopefully, we're able to spin it all together, and we have an exciting product. That's the goal. Yep. But with that being said, we want to thank you, Sharon, for stopping by. Chopping it up with us again. We appreciate you guys. Checking us out. Whatever you're doing, you're ready to take a bath. You're outside walking your dog, whatever. Appreciate you guys stopping by, listening to what we got to say. And with that being said, we'll catch you guys on the flip side. You guys stay straight, stay smooth.
Peace.